Brought to you by Mr. Pros TV, streaming from Tempe, Arizona. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV, and today we're in Tempe, Arizona in our studio with Kerri Beaufaux of Realty Executives. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join me here on Real Estate Pros.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome.
Appreciate
So for those watching that don't know who you are, we'll give you a couple minutes to introduce yourself. What did you do prior to real estate? What interested you in getting in the business? And we'll go from there.
Okay, great story. No, it's probably pretty boring.
Oh,
but
come on.
I was a respiratory therapist.
Okay.
So I got into that from a trade school when I was 19. And so I did that for a long time. And then had some kids, stayed home for a little bit, and then I worked for their school.
Oh, okay.
And then I went back to respiratory. And so total I did that about 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And I was working at the county hospital downtown. It's one of my favorite hospitals to work in. So many neat people work there.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting patients. Learned a lot of stuff, and not all of it is transferable to real estate, but I was sitting there, I was talking to my friend who was about to retire. She was 62, and she had been a respiratory therapist all her life, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I just decided that I didn't want to be 62 retiring from respiratory. I thought there was something more I could do. Something with more earning potential, but basically something I could use that would really be a challenge to me.
Sure.
And I had really no idea what I was doing. So I went to school, stayed part-time for a while, and then I leapt out into space and joined a great broker, and had a great mentor. But it's been very, very interesting. So that's been 4 years ago that I've been full-time.
All right. So made the leap.
I made the
2
leap.
feet in.
2 feet in, all the way, yeah.
Nice. So, because a lot of people will kind of keep their job and then kind of inch their way into real estate. So you just...
Well, I didn't find that to be a good way for me to take care of my clients.
Right, exactly.
Not that, there's a lot of people that do it. And so, but for me, I just couldn't manage it all.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll call you back. I'm on the clock right now.
Yeah, I'm about to go into an emergency situation, so we'll have to look at those houses later.
Right.
Yeah, so it was just such a difference. And one of the biggest changes for me is just medical people don't think business. We have all of our people are already there,
Right.
And unfortunately, they're at our mercy, really. But people in real estate, they can choose who they want to have take care of them.
Right.
So I have to go find those people that need me, and that was a big change for me.
All right, gotcha. Awesome. So we know that there's a lot of options in real estate when it comes to brokerages. Why did you ultimately choose Realty Executives?
Oh, that's a great question. I bounced around a little bit, and I just really wanted a good brand behind me that had a good reputation. And so I loved the broker. Jerry Russell was the broker at the time when I joined up. And, a lot of it has to do with just the environment. And they had some good tech stuff, but everybody's got technical stuff now,
Sure.
But for the most part, it was just the generous spirit and the culture there. And they had a good reputation. And I kind of felt like I needed a little bit of credibility to undergird my own name at the time.
Right.
So that was why I made that switch.
Nice.
When I did.
So were there any, what were like, I guess you would call them surprises. So you got your license, you jumped into the business 4 years ago. Were there anything where like, I didn't know about that? Or did you have a good footing on the business when you first started?
Well, I felt like the best thing that I did was when I went full-time, I worked as an assistant with the broker that I went with.
Oh, okay.
And so I got a really good, and he was doing a lot of transactions, I think 65 to 80 at the time. And I was managing 10 transactions at a time for him. And that really taught me a whole lot about, deadlines and transactional things like that. It was a great way to get into the business for me.
Gotcha.
One of the things that I found has been the most interesting is what a head game. I don't want to say head game, but just how all the time sales is really about where you're at in your mind.
Right.
And putting myself in the right place mentally is so important for me in order to be successful. And so I've had to do a lot of work on myself, which I
Sure.
didn't really expect that to be part of that.
Right, because real estate's not easy. I mean, there's a lot of things that you kind of do or you do that's kind of outside of maybe your comfort zone. A lot of people don't like cold calls, but maybe there's times in your career when you have to do stuff that are kind of out of your comfort zone and kind of do things that you're not expecting, or the sales side of things, So you can be the best person, but if real estate comes down to sales and relationships and people that you build relationships with. So currently in your real estate business, do you do traditional real estate, commercial? What kind of real estate business do you run right now?
Residential.
Okay.
Yeah, I really haven't even dabbled in commercial yet. I don't know if I will. I
Yeah.
really appreciate the residential resale. But I recently had a great opportunity that came up right down the street from me. It was a little infill development. And so I just stayed in touch with the builder, and he was going to list them himself. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Just let me know what's going on so I can tell the neighborhood about it, and because I'm on the block watch, of course.
Sure.
And he said, could you hold them open for me? And I said, well, yeah, but why don't you just let me list them for you? And he said, okay.
Oh, nice.
So I got 12 listings.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
It's called NOLA Estates.
Okay.
And it's great. It's right in Midtown, right? Your 23rd Avenue in Glendale, in Phoenix, right across the street from Washington Park.
So are they being built right now, or what stage are they at?
Well, they're spec homes.
Okay.
And so he's built out, I think there's 7 of them built out. 2 are almost finished, and then he'll have 3 more that he'll get started
That's
on.
That's a great opportunity. Just from being on where were you on the watch?
I was on the block watch and just stayed in touch with him as he started his development there, and it's really great opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, I haven't heard of that where you just get 12 listings like that.
Boom.
That is awesome. But it comes to show that you put in the work, you stay in contact with these people, and great things can happen.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about being in real estate now that you've been in the business for 4 years?
I think I really appreciate the challenge. It does take me out of my comfort zone a lot, and so that's been really actually good for me to do that. I really had to come out of my shell.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this type of broadcast is just like, what? I can't believe I'm doing it.
You're a natural.
Oh, but I really feel like I've been able to. There's a couple of things I've been able to bring with me into this career from my medical, and that's a sense of advocacy for the people that I work for, and I'm not afraid to get emotionally involved in what's going on with their lives, because I really feel like buying a home is a really difficult time in someone's life, and I feel like as an agent, I can do that next level by really caring about them and trying to really just be sensitive to just how hard it is, how stressful it is. So that's been kind of rewarding for me to be able to kind of bring that advocacy back, with me into
Sure.
this next career.
Sure. What advice would you give to a brand new agent that's starting today after, you I guess call yourself somewhat of a vet since you've been out in the industry for 4 years. If somebody's starting fresh here in 2018, what would you recommend that they do to help build their business? Obviously, there's a lot of competition. There's, I think, over 40,000 agents in Arizona. Probably 75% don't do more than one deal. But
Yeah, well, we don't
yeah.
talk about that.
But there's a lot of options, when it comes to real estate. And they don't really teach you business. You get out of real estate school and the legalities of stuff, but they don't really teach you how to run a business. So what would you recommend or advice would you give to new agents?
I think the track that I went on when I found somebody to teach me.
Right.
I was their assistant. I was able to do, because transactions, if you get that as your basis, you can get down what you have to do with the transaction. Then you can learn how to sell yourself.
Right.
I also would recommend finding a coaching program that will teach you how to assemble your database, how to connect with those people on a regular basis. Kind of gives you just some bones to frame your business out of. And I think that's the best advice I can give you. And then just hold on and hang in there, because it's really hard. But if you really want it, it'll happen. It'll work out.
So what tools do you use to stay in contact with like you said, your contacts and spheres? What are those tools that you use that help you on a daily basis?
Well, I started with a Buffini CRM.
Oh, okay.
So Buffini is about a referral. It's relationship marketing. And so it helps you assemble a database of people that you know, and then as you add people in, it puts them on a schedule of when to call them and what kind of things to send them, email, letters, postcards, things like that. And it puts you on kind of it gives you things to do when you don't have anything to do.
Right.
So instead of just waiting there hoping your phone will ring, it gives you some practical things to do. So that's kind of what I use for managing my people. Just keeping them all in one place, and I know where to find them.
And why do what makes you different than others? That's one question I like to ask people is, why do people ultimately choose to hire you versus the agent down the street? What pieces of value do you bring to buyers and sellers that make you different? Because obviously there's a lot of options out there. So why do people ultimately choose to work with you and refer clients to you, Kerri?
I think it's because I bring a real sense of ease to the conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm not out to sell them. I'm actually there to help them, and I think I do a good job of conveying that when I'm in a meeting with somebody. That I'm really, really concerned about what they need, mm-hmm. And I'm good at it. So I think if I'm able to tell them that I'm good at caring for people and I'm good at getting you to the end of this transaction alive, I think that's why. And I would say I'm competitive, but I think that's why people choose me. It's just because mm-hmm. I'm able to connect with them on a personal level, and I think that's what makes a difference.
Awesome. What areas of the Valley do you go all over Arizona, Phoenix area, or do you have?
I have. I'm mostly Central Phoenix because that's where I've lived for a long time. Okay. But because I'm a referral agent, I do East Valley, I do Litchfield Park, I do Goodyear. I've sold in Buckeye.
So you're pretty. Did you grow up here in Arizona?
Yes, for the most part I did. I came to Arizona when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
We lived in Prescott Valley. And back then,
gotcha.
That's a really long time ago. I'm not going to tell you how long ago. It was a really long time ago. There was just some barbed wire, tumbleweeds, and antelope.
So did you grow up in Prescott Valley then?
Yeah, until I was 14. It was just me and my dog and tracking lizards. That's what we did.
Tracking lizards. And
tracking bugs.
Your friends lived about a mile away.
Sure
Big
did.
lots in Prescott.
Yep.
Yeah, tracking lizards. That's funny. Awesome. So what do you like most about living in the Valley?
I think I really like that there's different kinds of neighborhoods. It's something for everybody here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do not like the heat, but whatever. But I do like the weather in the winter. So I don't like the traffic, but I do like the mountains. Yeah. So
I don't like the traffic much. I try to avoid the HOV times on here, but every time I go to California and I come back, I'm like, all right, that's not so bad.
Right? We don't have it so bad here. Yeah.
But you're probably were you coming from north right now?
I came from Central Phoenix, yeah.
I gotcha.
It was a little rough.
Yeah, I gotcha. Awesome. Well, if somebody's watching this and they're considering hiring, they want to consider you hiring you as a real estate agent to represent them as on a sell or a buy, how do people get a hold of you?
They can find me on the web at homesbykerrib.com, or they can call me 602-574-1530 anytime.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day, Kerri, and joining me on Real Estate Pros. And we will see you guys on the next episode.